Hello, this is David again. I'm just making episode number 1 after 30 days in the dollar cost averaging ETF versus crypto experiment. Just to remind ourselves that we were going to put in $1,000 a month on the ETF side, put it into this common ComSec Pocket app application, which is just a very easy way for retail investors to invest in exchange traded funds. And so I was just going to put in $1,000 into TechSavvy, which are these ETFs that are listed on the Nasdaq, just because I think being tech savvy is cool. On the crypto side, it was much more complicated, but we were going to put in $1,000 Australian dollars again onto the Polygon network, split it into half Ethereum and half Bitcoin. We're going to divide it into two streams. So stream 1, deposit that into Aave and then leverage approximately 40 to 50% to yield farm, whereas stream 2 would be a bit simpler and we would just directly yield farm on this Define protocol. On the ETF side, it's been pretty straightforward. Increased in value from 993 to 1,026 Australian dollars, representing approximately a 3.35% increase. The percentage value is different from this 2.98%, just because I think that this includes the $2 transaction fee that was originally put in. The crypto side is a bit more complicated for stream 1, but just I've highlighted it in blue, the original values, both in Australian dollars here and US dollars here. So just to go through things again quickly, so on this top line, this was my original 500 Australian dollars worth of Bitcoin and Ethereum. That was $242.50 and $234.78 respectively, and that's increased in to 316 and 308, and that's because Ethereum and Bitcoin have fairly pumped in the last month or so. Despite seeing a bit of a mid-month drop, they've increased a good 20-25% value. Compare this with, this is the USDC value that I have borrowed. So note that the 180 USDC has actually increased to 180.5. This represents the interest that I have to pay as I'm borrowing an amount from Aave. So the Australian dollar value of that has therefore gone from 237 to 244. And note that the difference is because the Australian dollar has weakened compared to the US dollar in the last month or so. On the bottom line, this blue boxes, these blue tiles, they represent my value of the leveraged value into Curve, and that's gone from 177.39 to 208.19. So I've put that into the A-Try crypto pool, which is a third split of stable coins versus Ethereum and Bitcoin. So the value of that has gone from 237 to 283 Australian dollars using this exchange rate for the most recent Australian dollar conversion. This is a bit confusing, so I'll summarize that all in a slide very shortly. With the yield farms, this is essentially my reward for providing liquidity on Curve, as well as my reward for depositing the Ethereum and Bitcoin into Aave. So these top two represent the monthly reward for the Curve liquidity, whereas this bottom one, which is a small amount, only 78 Australian cents, is the amount that I've been rewarded for depositing onto Aave. So to summarize, back in July I put into this column, my total value was $477.84, and this includes my borrowed amount of USDC that I've just put in italicized and underlined text. The increase in value of Bitcoin and ETH has been sizable, so now it's worth $625. My leverage amount has also increased as well. I've also gained yield farming yield as well, although it's quite a small amount, and thus my value has increased from $477 to $668.90, representing a 39.98% increase. And this 1.13% yield here at the bottom is is just the $5.41 value divided by 477.84. So this will be an interesting number to see. Stream 2 is much simpler. I've been using, I think, Vision app to try and get the value of my liquidity pair, which is within Define. So initially it's worth $360.49, whereas now it's worth $460 in US dollars, which represents 483 to 626 Australian dollars, given the respective conversion rates. The yield farms are relatively straightforward. I've farmed 9.46 Define tokens, and these aren't all unlocked because I think they're vested for 6 months, and you can unlock them in 25% tranches at 0, 2, 4, and 6 months. So it's a little bit more complicated than just what the number says, but overall the value is $17.75 in Australian dollars. So to summarize that, so to go from the 1st of July to the 1st of August, the value of the underlying Bitcoin and Ethereum has increased from 483 to 626 Australian dollars, and including the yield farm, this gives $644.22 in Australian dollars value, and this represents a 33% increase. Note that the 33% increase is actually less than in Stream 1, and this is because we weren't leveraging, and the farming yield is 3.67%, so this is much higher than in the Stream 1. So we're kind of a bit more yield farming centric on Stream 2, whereas Stream 1 was more leveraging centric. And the difference between those will be that the leveraging centric strategy will be stronger during upturns in the market, whereas in a neutral or downturned market, this Stream 2 will be more profitable. So the final summary is that the EFTs have increased in 3.35% increase in value over the last month or so, whereas there's been a massive 36% increase in one single month for crypto. This includes a 2.37% monthly yield. Some final comments are, 3% increase in 1 month, even for the EFT side, is pretty respectable, because if you multiply that out, so that's going to be at least a 36% increase during the year. So I think overall the month was quite bullish for both the EFT and crypto side. However, this 36% month-on-month gain is definitely not going to be sustainable in the long run for the crypto side. So it'll be interesting to see if this monthly yield can hold it up when inevitably the market goes a bit more sideways or goes down. So that's it for now. I'll make another update video after I've put in a further $1,000 into each of the categories. Thanks.